So in today's class, we are going to look at one more problem related with the backtracking concept. In the last class, we saw two problems on backtracking. One is n-queens, other one is subset sum. Okay, so now let us see the graph coloring problem, how it can be solved using the method of backtracking. Suppose if G is a graph and M is a positive integer. So think that there is a graph G and M is any positive integer. This problem finds whether the nodes of G can be colored in such a way that no two adjacent nodes have the same color. Uh, Yet only M colors are used. This means, see, some M number of colors are given. For example, if M is 3, red, green and blue, for example, 3 colors are given and a graph is given. Suppose the problem is you have to give colors for each vertices of the graph. Okay, such that no two adjacent nodes have the same color. Adjacent nodes should not have the same color. It should have a different color, and you are supposed to color it within using M colors, maximum of M colors. Okay, that is the problem. So this problem is called as M colorability decision problem. M colorability decision problem. So it tells whether you can color the graph using the given M colors or not. So that is the decision making problem. Now, if D is the degree of the given graph, so degree means the number of incident and outgoing vertices. So whichever is maximum for any of the vertex, that is the degree of the graph. Then it can be colored with D plus 1 color. For example, if the degree of the graph is 3, then we need maximum 4 colors to color the graph. So that is the rule. The M colorability optimization problem is one more variant of the problem. It is M colorability optimization. So previously we saw decision. Optimization asks for the smallest integer M for which the graph can be colored. So what this tells us, this problem. So this problem, in this problem M is not given. In the decision problem, M will be given, number of colors will be given, and you have to tell whether it is possible to color that graph or not. In the optimization problem, the value of M is not given, that is number of colors is not given. You have to find minimum of how many colors are needed to color the graph. This is called as optimization problem, M colorability optimization problem. So this integer, whatever M you will get, the number of colors, that is called as chromatic number of the graph. So we tell that M is the chromatic number. If the number of colors required is 4 to color a graph, then the chromatic number of that graph is 4. This is one example. This graph contains 5 vertices, and if you start coloring from 1, this is 1 represents the color number. So color name is not given, instead color number is given. So the next vertex B, can it be colored with 1? No, it cannot be colored with 1 because A and B are adjacent. So you have to give the next number, next color. This color number 2. Then move to the next color. I will move to this C. In order I will move. Okay. So can C be given the color 1? No, it cannot be given color 1 because A is adjacent. Can it be given the color 2? No, the B is adjacent with color 2. Can it be given with color number 3? Yes, it can be given. Okay, move to the next color. Move to the next vertex, D. Once again, start with 1. Whether D can be given with 1? Yes, it can be given with 1 because D is not adjacent to any of the vertices with color number 1. Okay, so it can be given the color number 1. Move to vertex number 3, vertex E. Okay, now start from 1. Whether it can be given a 1? No, it cannot be given because there is a vertex with color number 1. Whether it can be given a color number 2? No, because there is a vertex with color number 2. Increase from 2 to 3. Whether it can be given a color number 3? See, there are 2 vertices adjacent. One is having 1, other one is having 2. So no vertices are having color number 3. So this can be given a color number 3. So this is how you can color a given graph. So now the the minimum colors that are needed is 3. 3 is referred as the chromatic number of this graph. Okay, so this is called as the graph coloring problem. So you might be wondering what is the application of this graph coloring problem? So this graph coloring problem is used by various industries where the colored products are being produced. See, in some products, the products comes in different colors. For example, the dress materials comes in different colors. Okay, and some unique dress materials will have unique colors, and the company they won't sell the same colored product in a same district or in same state. Okay, for example, if a company produces a dress material of one color that is for Shimoga city or Shimoga district, for example, let us consider city Shimoga city. So the same colored product, same product will not be there in Shimoga city. It will be given to the next city, that is Bhadravati. Okay, so like that. So that means even while doing that, it will take care that even Shimoga and Bhadravati will not have the same colors. Okay, so Shimoga will have one color with the same material, and Bhadravati will have a second color with the same material, and the next city that comes, for example, Tarikere, so that may have the color which the Shimoga is having, that is color number one. So likewise, the industries or the cloth manufacturing companies, they distribute unique colored products in the cities so that their product is unique in one city. So that is uh, for that purpose, what they do is they go for this technique called as graph coloring. So each cities are considered as graphs, and the colors are allotted based on the requirement. Okay, so that is how the graph coloring is done, and the application of graph coloring. So they will come to know, one more thing is they will come to know maximum how many colors are needed. For example, if they take the entire country, so maximum how many colors are needed so that no two adjacent cities have the same color. They will come to know based on this graph coloring, and based on that graph color, they will send that product to that corresponding city. So this is one planar graph. First, understand what is meant by planar graph. A graph is said to be planar if it can be drawn in a plane in such a way that no two edges cross each other. No two edges should cross each other. So these are different areas. The squares that are there, the squares and some other shapes that are there, these are different areas, and they are adjacent to its neighboring area. Okay, and no area overlap with the others. You got the point. So it means that in such a way that no two edges cross each other. No two edges will cross each other. If you look at this graph, if you look at this graph, see this is a graph based on this area, this diagram, area diagram. So 2 is here. I want to draw a graph. 2 is adjacent to 4. 2 is adjacent to 5. 2 is adjacent to 1. 2 is adjacent to 3 also. So this is 3. It means 2 is adjacent to all vertices. Therefore, write all the other vertices 1, 3, 4, and 5 and draw the edges. Okay, then take this one. 1 is adjacent to 2, 3, and 4. 1 is adjacent to 2, 3, and 4. So 1 is adjacent to 2, 3, and 4. One more, it's like this. So take this 3. 3 is adjacent to 4, 3 is adjacent to 1, 3 is adjacent to 2 also. So 1, 2, 4. 3 is adjacent to 1, 2, and 4. Take vertex number 4. 4 is adjacent to 5. 4 is adjacent to 2. 4 is adjacent to 1 also. 4 is adjacent to 3 also. So from 4, it connects every other vertex. Okay, next take 5. 5 is adjacent to 4. 5 is adjacent to 2. Only 2 vertices. So 5 is adjacent to 2 and 4. So like this, a given planar graph can be converted into a, sorry, given planar graph, yes, a given plane can be converted into a graph. Okay, now the graph coloring concept can be used on this graph, and you can see maximum how many colors are needed to color these planes. So one more example application of this is, you might have seen the Atlas map, which contains the colors, which contains the countries marked in different colors. So why they are marked in different colors? So that each countries can be visible properly. And one more rule is that no two adjacent countries will have the same color. Two adjacent countries will not have the same color. And see, observe if you have any atlas, observe what is the maximum number of colors that are needed. So maximum how many? There are many countries all over the world, in the whole world. So to color them, all those countries, maximum how many colors are needed? So that is, look at this point. Any planar graph, even that atlas map can be considered as a planar graph because there is no overlapping or no two edges cross each other. A planar graph can be colored using only 4 colors. That means a maximum of 4 colors is necessary to color a planar graph, such this type of a graph. So even if you observe graph coloring that is used in the atlas maps, if you think that if any manufacturer of that atlas has made use of 4 colors, it means that he has made use of the graph coloring concept very well. Okay, so based on that, the coloring has been done. Let us understand how to solve this graph coloring problem. So for this, as usual, the backtracking method, it makes use of state space trees. We have learned that in the previous two algorithms. Backtracking always uses state space trees to solve the problem. Now here also, the state space trees are used. So this is one general diagram, state space tree. It is for n is equal to 3 and m is equal to 4. So n represents the number of vertices, m represents the maximum number of colors that can be used. Okay, and the state space tree will have n plus 1 levels. So this is level number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Totally 4 levels will be there if the value of n is 3. So please note this. Okay, and each level represents each vertex. Each level represents each vertex. Okay, next, root doesn't represent any of the vertex, so it is the initial stage. And x1, x2, and x3 are nothing but the colors that are given for the vertex. So x is the color graph, it's an array. So x1 represents the vertex number. That means vertex number 1 is given the color 1, vertex number 2 is given the color number 1 here, vertex number 3 is also given the color number 1. So like this. So now if the maximum color is 3, then the degree of this state space tree will be 3. Every child will have a maximum of 3 children. Every node will have a maximum of 3 children and not more than 3. What it means is this particular vertex can be colored with maximum 3 colors. Either it can be color number 1 or color number 2 or color number 3. Okay, so what the first level tells us? First level tells that this one. First, I'm referring to this one, level 1. This is level 0. This is level 1. So in level 1, it represents the vertex number 1. And there are 3 options. One option is it can be colored with color number 1. Second option is vertex number 1 can be colored with color number 2. Third option is it can be colored with color number 3. Next, if vertex number 1 is colored with color number 1, so next move to the next level. This level gives the coloring for vertex number 2. Okay, if vertex number 1 is colored with 1, what can be colored with vertex number 2? So which color can be used? Can I use the vertex color number 1? No, 1 cannot be used because 1 and 2 may be adjacent. You have to look at the graph for this. So not just by having the state space tree we can get the results. Along with this, we have to use the state space. You have to use the graph. We have to use the adjacency matrix in coding to see whether the nodes are adjacent. If they are adjacent, then you cannot graph with the same color. For example, if vertex 1 and vertex 2 are adjacent, then color number 1 cannot be given for these 2 vertices. So once again, you have to backtrack to the previous step. You should come to the next one. So like this, the graph coloring continues. So we'll take one example. This is a general method where it shows how the state space tree it works. We'll take example now and we'll see how the coloring is done. Okay, observe this. On the right hand side, you can see a graph. So this is the input graph. It contains 4 vertices, and so you can see which are the nodes that are adjacent. Okay, and the first thing is while coding, while implementing this, we have to convert this into adjacency matrix. We have to store the information of this graph in a adjacency matrix, where the matrix contains ones and zeros. One indicates that there is a edge from one vertex to other vertex. For example, 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 value is 1. It tells that there is a edge from 1 to 2. 1 comma 3. 1 comma 3 value is 0 because there is no edge from 1 to 3. So likewise, the adjacency matrix is constructed. Now we'll start this problem. So this problem has to be done step by step. You're not supposed to write the whole tree like this. So always start from the root node. First write the root, it's the initial step. Okay, and for this graph you are considering the value of m is equal to 3. It means that for a maximum you can take 3 colors and not more than 3 colors. Okay, if you are able to find solution for this, then you have to write the solutions. Otherwise you have to give the conclusion that this color cannot be graph. So this graph cannot be colored by using 3 colors. Now let us start this. So it is initial position. Start with write this node. It represents vertex number 1. Vertex number 1. So always the vertices are considered starting from 1 till n. We will consider vertex number 1 first. So now x1. So x1 tells which color we are giving, whether it is colored with 1 or 2 or 3. There are 3 options. So first we are considering only this one. Okay. So first we'll write x1 is equal to 1. So on the edge which connects these two vertices, these two nodes, we have to write the color number. So we have to see whether 1 can be given the color. Initially, one more thing is, initially the colors of all the graphs should be set to 0. The colors of all the graphs should be set to 0. Okay, now colors means it is an array, X array. For example, this is an array. So there will be an array X, X of 1, X of 2, X of 3, X of 4. So all will be zeros. Okay. Next. Now, X of 1 is 1 now. X of 1 is 1 means the color of vertex number 1 is 1. So now check whether there is any other vertex with the same color. So what you are supposed to do is you have to see the adjacent vertices. 2 is there, 4 is there. What are their colors? Their colors are 0 because initially we have set to 0. Now we have set this to 1. Since it is 0, it means that you can color this vertex number 1 with the color number 1. So this is correct. 1 can be given. Next, take this vertex, move to the next level. That is vertex number 2. So can the vertex number 2 given the same color number 1? So that is the first thing. Vertex number 2, I'm moving to the next level. So now once again start with color number 1 itself. Okay, can I give the color number 1? It cannot be given because there is a vertex number 1 with the same color 1. You cannot give the same color. Okay, therefore you are not considering 1. We'll consider 2. We'll consider the next color. Increment the color. Color becomes 2. Okay, now see if there is any vertex adjacent which is having color number 2. One color is 0. 1. Vertex number 3's color is 0. Okay, that means this 2 can be colored with color number 2. 2 is colored with color number 2. Okay, next. Come to the next vertex, next level. Take this. It is vertex number 3. Okay, this level number 3 represents vertex number 3. Now start with the color number 1 itself. Can it be given a color number 1? Yes, it can be given because 1 is here. 1 is colored with vertex number 1 is colored with vertex number 1, but these two are not adjacent. Okay, and 2's color is 2, 4's color is 0. So that means 3 and 1 they can have the same color. So this 3 can be given with color number 1. So that is one thing. Okay. Now once again, come to the next level, 4th level. In the 4th level, see if it can be given with color number 1. So once you enter a new level, start with the color number 1 itself. 1 cannot be given because 1 is already here. 1 is having the color number 1. If you want to check in this tree what 1 is given, you just move back in the tree and see the first level, the color. So it gives the color of that particular vertex. This refers to vertex number 1 color. The second one is vertex number 2 color. Third one is vertex number 3 color. Okay, so see that 4 is adjacent to 1. So 1's color is 1 itself. You cannot use that. 4 is adjacent. Next, increase the color. Change the color to 2. Okay, color number 2. And see what is the color of 3 and 1. Sorry, the color of 3. Color of 3 is 1. It is a 1 once again. Isn't it? So that color of 1 is also 1, color of 3 is also 1. So this can be colored with color number 2. So we have used x4 is equal to 2. Okay, that is done. Since there is one more option. One more option is see for this is one solution. One solution where you have used only 2 colors. For vertex number 1 color, color number 1. For vertex number 2, color number 2. Vertex number 3, color number 1. Vertex number 2, color number 2. Using only 2 colors, you have found the solution. But the maximum color is 3. You can use 3 colors for a maximum. So once again, backtrack to the previous step and increment the color. Previously it was 2. Increment the color, it becomes 3. Okay. Now see if 3 can be given. Yes, 3 also can be given. Isn't it? Because the neighboring edge, neighboring vertex 1, this is having color number 1. This is also having color number 1. So this can be given with color number 3. So this is also one more solution. 1, 2, 1, 3 is one more solution. Okay. Now go back to the previous, backtrack to the previous step. Can you increment the color to 4? No, you cannot increment. Okay. So that means you have exhausted all the colors for vertex number 4. So now go back to the previous step. When you backtrack to the previous step, to this step, we have just used one color number 1. So still 2 colors are left for this vertex number 3. So come to the next level. See if you can give color number 2. Can you give color number 2 for what? This is vertex number 3. So vertex number 3 is here. Vertex number 3 is here. Which are the nodes adjacent? 2 is adjacent, 4 is adjacent. Okay. So 4 is not yet colored. 2 is adjacent. 4 contains 0 currently because we have backtraced. When you backtrace, 4 contains 0 now. Okay. 4 is not yet visited. 2 is colored with what? 2 is colored with? You can see this. 2 is colored with color number 2. Therefore, you cannot color this vertex number 3 with 2. That is why you have skipped that 2, increment to 3. Can you color the graph with color number 3? You can color with color number 3 for the vertex number 3. Okay, because 1 is colored with 1, 2 is colored with 2. You can see this, and 3 can be colored with 3. Okay, next step. Move to the next level. When you move to the next level, it is vertex number 4. 1 is color number 1, 2 is color number 2, 3 is color number 3. So can it be colored with color number 1? Vertex number 4 can be colored with vertex number 1. So how to check? Check its adjacent vertices 1 and 3. What is the color of 1? You can see the color here. So color of 1 is also 1 and 1 is adjacent. You cannot color this with 1. 4 cannot be colored with 1. Can you color it with 2? Can you color it with 2? So 1's color is 1, 3's color. 3's color is 3. You can see this. So that you can color with 2. Yes, it can be done. One more option is left. Can you color with 3? Can you color with 3? Can you color 4 with 3? You cannot color because the previous vertex itself is colored with 3. There is a vertex adjacent which is colored with 3. You cannot color this fourth vertex with 3. So likewise, this is one solution. 1, 2, 3, 2. So this solution uses 3 colors. Okay, like this. So now we have taken 3 here. You can backtrack. You cannot use the next one 4 because maximum color is 3. Backtrack to the previous. You have considered color number 2. There is one more option left for this. You can consider color number 3 also. Considering color number 3, what are the solutions? You can trace. So this entire tree we are supposed to plot based on the adjacency matrix or by looking at the graph. What is the look at the graph for the adjacent vertices and look at the previous levels tells what color is given for that particular vertex. So by looking at both of this, you can decide which color can be given to the vertex. So this is how the graph coloring problem can be solved. So finally, you are supposed to write the solutions. So for example, for this first one, the solution is 1, 2, 1, and 4. That means x1, x2, x3, x4. It is written in terms of this series. So 1, 2, 1, 2. It is one solution. Next solution 1, 2, 1, 3. The second one. Next one 1, 2, 3, 2. So like this. And this state space tree, this contains only the feasible solutions, and it doesn't contain the infeasible solutions. That means, see here, in this step, while coloring the vertex number 2, vertex number, it cannot be colored with color number 1. So we have not written color number 1 vertex here, and we have not put a into mark. So if we put that, it will be a very big tree, and it will be a mess. Okay, it will be not very neat. For that purpose, only feasible solutions are written in the state space trees. Coming to the algorithm. M coloring is the name of the algorithm, and K is the vertex number. Vertex number means you have to give the starting vertex number. For example, in our previous diagram in the graph, vertices from 1 to 4 was there, and which is the starting vertex? Starting vertex is 1. We have to make a call for this M coloring function algorithm by passing 1 for this K. That means which is the starting vertex. Now let us see some things here. This algorithm was formed using the recursive backtracking schema. So it's based on recursive schema, recursive algorithm. The graph is represented by its Boolean adjacency matrix G of 1 to n, 1 to n. That means we have to make use of a adjacency matrix, and that array is G. It's a two-dimensional matrix which contains zeros and ones. All assignments of 1 to m to the vertices of the graph such that adjacent vertices are assigned distinct integers are printed. That means we are going to use the colors from 1 to m, and you are assigning the vertices with colors, and whatever colors are assigned, they are printed. I told no in the previous example, it is printed like this: 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. So likewise, it is printed. K is the index of the next vertex to color. So K tells which is the next vertex to color. So initially I am passing 1. 1 tells that 1 is the next vertex to be colored. Now let us look at this. Repeat. It is an infinite loop. It comes out when it becomes false. The very first statement: generate all legal assignments of x of k. So we are supposed to fill the values for x. So x is this: x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, and x of 4. Maximum 4 indexes will be there, and you are supposed to fill them. If x is like this, if x is 1, 2, 1, 2, it means that first vertex color is 1, second vertex color is 2, third vertex color is 1, fourth vertex color is 2, like that. Now, next value of k. So this is one more function. Next value of k, what it does is it will assign one color for k. It will assign a color for k, which is the legal color. So we'll see that function. Next value of k. To x of 1 to x of k minus 1. X of 1 to x of k minus 1. For example, in the graph that we have seen, number of vertices is 4. So k can have the maximum of 4 values. K is equal to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. K of 1 to k of x of 1 to x of k minus 1 have been assigned integer values in the range from 1 to n, such that adjacent vertices have distinct integers. A value for x of k is determined in the range from 0 to m. So what you can assign for this is you can assign any colors. X of 1 can be any color from 0 to m within the 3 colors, for example. X of k is assigned the next highest numbered color. We start from 1 and you go on assigning the next highest numbered color while maintaining the distinctness from the adjacency vertex. You have to check the adjacency vertices that are adjacent with the same color. You have to check that, and then you have to color the vertices. If no such color exists, x of k is 0. So while giving the colors, if no such color exists, then x of k will be set to 0. For example, in the previous diagram, here x of 2 in the first step, x of 2 was colored with 1. So x of 2 cannot be colored with 1. Therefore, in that step, x of 2 will be 0. X of 2 will be 0 because there will be no color for that solution. Well, we'll see how it works. X of k is equal to x of k plus 1. So what you are doing is, now what is the value of k? What your value of k is 1 because you are sending the vertex number 1. Because you want to color vertex number 1 now. Initially I told that the values of all the vertices will be 0. You have to set x of k to 0 initially. Okay. First step, x of k, that is x of 1, k is 1, is equal to x of k plus 1. What was there in x of k? It was 0. So now it increments to 1. So now x of k becomes 1. I hope you are getting. X of k is 1, x of 1 is 1 now, and the rest will be 0. Okay. Modulus of m plus 1. So I'll tell this why this modulus is used. Modulus of m plus 1. See, as you increment, think that you have reached the 3. X of k has reached 3. When you once again apply this, it becomes 3 plus 1. When it is 3 plus 1, it is not a valid color. 3 plus 1, 4 is not a valid color. Therefore, modulus has to be applied so that it becomes 0. Okay. If x of k is 0, if it has reached the maximum color, and if x of k has reached 0 after doing the modulus, then just return. It tells that all colors have been used. There is no choice further. Okay. Now x of k is 1 in this example. Now we have started with 1. Initially it was 0. 0 is incremented to 1. So that means what? The vertex number 1 can be colored with 1. Now you have to check. You have to check if there is any adjacent vertex with the same color. So for that purpose, j from 1 to n. You have to start from first vertex till the nth vertex. So starting from 1 to 4 in our example. You have to check if g of k comma j. What is k? K is 1. What is j? J takes different values from 1 to 4. 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 4. Okay, and for whichever the value is not a 0, that means it should be 1. It should be 1 means it tells that the vertices are adjacent. It should be a 1, and one more condition is if x of k, whatever color you have just given, if that is equal to x of j, whatever vertices you are checking, j you are checking from 1 to n. So you are checking each vertices. If the colors of two vertices are same of two vertices that are adjacent, then it means that you cannot give that color. Then just break that. When it breaks, it will break the for loop. After breaking the for loop, it checks the if condition. If j is equal to n plus 1, so if j has reached all the n vertices, if j, it has checked with 1, it has checked with 2, it has checked with 3, it has checked with 4 also. Okay, in none of the 4, this if condition is true, and it has incremented, and the for loop has become false. For loop has become false, and it has come to the if state. There are two cases. One is for loop can break in between, or else for loop can end. If the for loop ends successfully, then it means that there is no vertices that is adjacent that is having the same color, and that is why you can tell that new color has been found. That color whatever you have chosen, that is found, and you will return that color. So in this example, we have taken vertex number 1, and all the remaining vertices are colored with 0. Okay, so that means what? This throughout this for loop, this if condition doesn't becomes false because it will not get the vertex with the same color, and hence j has reached n plus 1. J has reached the maximum, and which tells that whatever color you have chosen for k, that is 1, that is correct. Okay, you will return from this function. So when you return from the function, what x of k contains? X of k contains 1. Come to this. So now check what is x of k, whether x of k is 0. X of k is not 0, isn't it? X of k contains some value. No new color possible. So that means if x of k is 0, that means what? It's an infeasible solution. Now, if k is equal to n, whether k is equal to n, k is 1 now. We have colored only one vertex now. It is not n, isn't it? So this you are checking whether to check whether you have colored all the vertices. So if you have colored all the vertices, for example, you have colored 1 now. So next is 2, next is 3, next is 4. If you have colored all, then what you are doing is you are printing. You will print what are the values from 1 to n. So this is one solution you are printing. Else means you have not colored all the vertices. So next, once again, you are making a call for the same coloring function. The same coloring function. What you are doing, you are incrementing this k. K becomes k plus 1. What is k initially? K was 1 in this iteration. So now k becomes 2, which means that now you have to color the vertex number 2. So like this, now the vertex number 2 comes. Next value of k is called, comes to this function. Now k is 2. Now x of 2 is equal to x of 2 plus 1. X of 2 initially it was 0. Now it becomes 1. So after making it 1, it has to check whether it has any vertex adjacent. So 1 and 2 are adjacent. Therefore, this will break. The for if condition will break. Yes, students, welcome back. So last 5 minutes I'll take. So we were here. So now the second vertex has come. Second vertex is incremented by 1. Initially it was 0. Now it has become 1. Okay, now it will check for adjacency. So while checking for adjacency, when j is equal to 1 itself, it will break because there is a vertex 1 with the same color. It will break. It will come here. It will check whether j has reached the end. That means n plus 1. It has not reached end. J is just 1. It means that uh, you have a vertex. You have found a vertex with the same color. Okay. So now this becomes false. This is not true. Okay. So when it becomes false, it goes to the same loop once again, and it comes here and it increments the value of k. Initially it was 1. Now it increments the value of the color to 2. Currently we are considering second vertex, k is equal to 2. Now the color increments to 2. Okay. Now it once again it checks if there is any vertex with the same color that is adjacent. There is no vertex with the same color. The entire for loop runs and j becomes equal to n minus 1, which means that there is no vertex that is adjacent with the same color. So new color is found. It will return. When it returns, it comes to this previous function. So whether x is equal to x of k is equal to 0, no, it is 2 now. Okay. If k is equal to n, whether it is n, no, it is not n, it is still 2. Still 2 vertices are to be colored. So once again, it comes to else part. It increments the value of k. K becomes 3 now. So once again, it goes to the same. When it comes here, it calls the next value of 3. Now vertex number 3 has to be colored. It comes. Vertex number 3 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. So now it checks whether 1 can be given the color for vertex number 3. So based on adjacency, the same thing happens. It will check if there is a vertex adjacent. If it is adjacent and with the same color, once again it increments the color. It will take the color number 2. So if color number 2 it can be given, it is given. Otherwise, once again it increments. So likewise, this will backtrack. So this is the backtracking function and also the recursive function. So once it reaches think that all colors are incremented. So it reaches it increments to 2, it increments to 3, and even at 3 it doesn't find this. It once again increments. 3 becomes 4, and 4 mod 4 is 0. So when it is 0, it comes here. X of k is equal to 0, then return. Where it returns to the previous step. It returns to the previous step. So that is what we saw in the diagram here. So when it is here, I'll explain this step. First, color number 1 is considered. Since color number 1 cannot be given, so that is made as 0. X2 is 0. When x2 is 0, it backtracks to the previous step, and once again the function is called with the next color. The color is incremented. So likewise, the graph coloring problem works.